Hello, everyone. My name is Cristina Banks, and I will be your moderator for today's annual conference for the California Labor Lab. This is our second annual conference, and I'll be moderating for both today and tomorrow. I am an associate director of the California Labor Lab, a NIOSH Total Worker Health Center of Excellence, housed at the University of California, San Francisco. I also serve as director of the Interdisciplinary Center for Healthy Workplaces, a global research center at the University of California, Berkeley. And I'm happy to share my introductory slides with you, and then we will get on with our speakers. First, a disclaimer. And a few housekeeping announcements. So chat is enabled for you to communicate with one another and with conference staff if you have any issues. Please feel free to share your thoughts and connect with one another in the Zoom chat. If you would like to ask a question for the presenter, please enter it into the Q&A, not the chat. This helps our moderator, namely me, keep track of your questions. We'll save time at the end of each presentation to address as many questions as possible. This event is being recorded and will be made available on the California Labor Lab Center for Occupational Environmental Health YouTube channel, which you can see right there. All registered attendees will receive an email once conference recordings are available. So first, let me talk about what you're going to hear over the next 2 days. I will present a brief overview of the conference and answer the question, why this topic and why now? Then we'll go over the agenda for the 2 days. I will show you who our speakers are going to be for the 2 days. I will also indicate the other resources we have for you, which you might find very interesting. And then finally, what are our upcoming webinars and events? So first, let me acknowledge the many people who have contributed to the development of this annual conference, in particular, Carissa Harris, Laura Stock, Kristen Harknett, Victor Rubin, Laura Truppen, Michelle Meyer, and Ima Vargas-Mack. We thank them very much for their input and for their excellent work in putting this 2-day conference together. So let's now talk about, in general, what the conference is all about. So as you know, we have 2 days, and we're kind of taking the days as overall questions that are going to be asked about surveillance, monitoring, and data gathering. On day 1, we're going to ask the question, are we looking at a dystopian future? Has surveillance, monitoring, and data gathering been used to provide a view into worker attributes, behavior, and performance? And have these techniques caused harm, and in what ways? And then day 2, tomorrow, we'll ask, do we have a brighter future? How have surveillance, monitoring, data gathering technologies generated greater good? Can policy create guardrails for future surveillance, monitoring, and data gathering developers to prevent harms and promote good? So we're going to start with the bad and end with the good. So why this topic now? So as you know, technology is ubiquitous in our daily lives. It's embedded in almost everything we do, and it dominates the way we work and how we share information. It behooves us to understand how technology affects our physical and mental health and our well-being. And it also behooves us to be better informed of how we are using technology to solve problems and at what cost. For example, the loss of privacy. You know, what has happened with our privacy with some of this technology? And some of the technology causes physical disability, for example. So our presenters will provide up-to-the-minute information on problems we face with surveillance, monitoring, and data gathering today. We want to, however, believe that technology can be harnessed and used selectively to better serve our needs. Our presenters will hopefully make this case tomorrow. So we will see some pathways for the future that we hope will give us a better life. Our speakers for day one are listed here, and you'll hear from each of them. And I want to present our agenda for today. We will first have opening remarks with Alex Padilla, our U.S. Senator from California. We will then have 2 talks by Karen Levy and Lisa Kresge with a joint Q&A. Then we'll have a break at 10:50. And then we'll come back for 2 more talks, one with Christopher Nye and the second with Kristen Hartnett and Daniel Schneider. Then we'll have lunch. And then we'll have 2 more talks with Tracy Vargas and Julia Tacona. We'll have, again, joint Q&A. And then we'll close today's conference with comments with our principal investigator for the California Labor Lab, Ed Yellen. On day 2, here are our speakers. And let me tell you what we're going to do on day 2. Remember, this is supposed to be the antidote for today. We will start out with Edward Yellen recapping what we found today. And we'll have 3 talks by Kathleen Mosier, Robert Harrison, and Lee Newman. Then we'll have a joint Q&A with Robert Harrison and Lee Newman. We'll take a break at 10:35. We'll then have 2 more talks, one with Tasha Joshua and Stefano Schiavone. We'll break for lunch at 12:10. Then we will have another talk by Wilneda Negron. We'll take another short break. And then we will end with fantastic policy discussion with Mitch Steiger, Tim Shaddix, Ellen Reese, Julianne Allison, and Matthew Scher, facilitated by Laura Stock and Victor Rubin. And finally, I will make some closing remarks and some next steps in this area. I want to call your attention to various resources that we have on the California Labor Lab website. You can find links to our first conference last year, and you will have an opportunity to look at the conference for this next 2 days on the YouTube channel, and we'll let you know when that will be available. And we also have 12 webinar recordings on the California Labor Lab website, and I invite you to look at those. Last year, our theme was precarious work, and numerous talks were given on this subject. And we also have new talks that go into more detail about working conditions and alternative work arrangements. I also want to let you know that we have 2 upcoming webinars. One is by Walter Stella. He's an attorney with Cozen O'Connor. He's going to share with us the existing law and regulation to support healthy work. That's on May 24th. And then the next one is available on June 28th with Alejandra Domazine, Nicole Moore, Winnie Cow, and Tyler Sandness on the topic of Fired by an App, Rideshare Drivers Experience.